The SEC versus Ripple case will reach a verdict within the next several days. Recently, pro-XRP attorney Fred Rispoli asserted that a verdict would be reached in July. Ripple, the amount of the fine that Ripple is required to pay for breaking U.S. securities rules will be decided by Judge Annalisa Torres. By selling unregistered XRP to institutional investors, Ripple was found to have violated U.S. securities regulations, according to a ruling that Judge Torres handed out in July of 2023. Is it likely that the Securities and Exchange Commission will settle, and is a court verdict imminent? Mark Fagel, a former attorney for the Securities and Exchange Commission, expressed his disapproval of the possibility of a settlement by saying, since the lawsuit was filed, they have held approximately 150 of these meetings that take place almost every week. And crypto Twitter was under the impression that a settlement was being discussed at every one of those sessions. Nonetheless, this is most certainly one. The SEC would be unable to appeal any findings that were made in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit if the matter were settled. According to Ripple Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderodi, who made this statement on Friday, July 12, the Securities and Exchange Commission informed the court that it would not contest the finding that XRP is not a security. During the proceedings that took place on July 13, 2023, Judge Torres concluded that programmatic sales of XRP do not fulfill the requirements of the third component of the Howey test. Legal proceedings in the state of California, the outcome of the lawsuit in California, on the other hand, might be enough to convince the SEC to file an appeal against the ruling regarding programmatic sales. In June of 2024, Judge Phyllis J. Hamilton decided that the cause of action for misleading representations involving the offer or sale of securities would be brought to trial by the laws of the state of California. The plaintiff asserts that Ripple utilized promotional materials, which fulfills the third part of the claim. The expectation of profits as a result of the efforts of other people is meant to be referred to as the third prong of the Howey test. The cryptocurrency community is waiting with bated breath for Judge Annalisa Torres to make her ruling in the high-stakes litigation between Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission. As the last few days of July passed, without a decisive decision, all eyes are now focused on the 1st of August. Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission are poised on the brink of a momentous occasion, and they are preparing for a decision that has the potential to send shockwaves across the cryptocurrency system. As a result of the Securities and Exchange Commission's decision to have yet another private meeting, which may include Ripple Labs, the cryptocurrency community is buzzing with conjecture. The SEC and Ripple are likely to meet, according to a photo that has been released and is currently circulating on X. Recently, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEF, has held several secret meetings, with the session scheduled for July 18 being canceled and the session scheduled for July 25 not producing any substantial updates. Despite this, the most recent meeting, which is now publicly available on the website of the SEC, has rekindled interest and speculation among the cryptocurrency community. Due to the alleged involvement of Ripple, this meeting is receiving a lot of attention in contrast to the meetings that have occurred in the past. A claimed agenda for the meeting is depicted in the photo that has been released to fuel these concerns. The agenda highlights negotiations between the SEC and Ripple. There is a possibility that Ripple and the SEC will meet on August 1st, according to a leaked photograph. There is a possibility that Ripple and the SEC will meet on August 1st, according to a leaked photograph X came from. Even while the image has been widely disseminated, it does not have a source that can be independently verified, which adds another element of ambiguity to the scenario that was already hypothetical. Ripple and the SEC have been approached by Daily Coin to confirm the meeting's focus. However, the company has not received any feedback. Amidst the scrutiny of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Ripple is fighting for its very existence. Settlement talks have been the topic of a great deal of conjecture, but legal experts have disregarded rumors of recent conversations. However, the potential of a court-mediated deal is still on the table, which keeps the hope alive for a resolution that does not need a drawn-out battle in the courtroom. When the decision is finally handed down, it is anticipated that it will establish a precedent. Both parties are prepared for a lengthy legal battle, which may include appeals, even though experts feel the case has weakened the position of the Securities and Exchange Commission. While the final verdict is being considered by Judge Torres, Ripple is involved in navigating complicated legal terrain. One of the most important revenue streams for the corporation is its on-demand liquidity service, which is at the center of the debate regarding the classification of securities. The decision of this case may have a substantial impact on the operations of the company as well as the cryptocurrency market as a whole. In the meantime, the Securities and Exchange Commission is under pressure to appeal the verdict, which could potentially escalate the court struggle and jeopardize its position in other instances related to cryptocurrencies. While the issue is still being investigated, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has been a prominent critic. He has called for standards that are both clear and consistent throughout the cryptocurrency industry. Even though the image that was released has generated a great deal of speculation, its authenticity has not been verified. Conversations about a settlement have been brought up, but there is no assurance that an agreement will be reached because both sides are eager to fight for their respective viewpoints. A lengthy court war will probably continue to take place. The importance of this, the confirmed meeting of the Securities and Exchange Commission, which may involve Ripple Labs, depending on the photograph that was leaked, adds to the anticipation. A verdict that is favorable to Ripple could result in more transparent crypto standards, but a decision that is favorable to the SEC could result in more stringent restrictions. The decision that is reached in this case will affect Ripple's operations and will establish a precedent for the cryptocurrency ecosystem as a whole. Traders of XRP are keeping a close eye on the lawsuit right now, hoping for significant changes and a result this week. An update on Ripple. Here is what you can anticipate from the litigation involving XRP and Ripple this week. In his forecast for the outcome of the litigation, attorney Fred Rispoli, who is a proponent of cryptocurrency, identified the 31st of July as the deadline. In light of the allegations that the payment remittance company violated securities regulations, the judge is anticipated to decide the issue of whether or not the company should be subject to fines or settlements. It is also unknown whether the Securities and Exchange Commission will accept XRP as a non-security or whether it will challenge Judge Torres' decision at a later date. On the day before the meeting that took place behind closed doors on July 20th, rumors were going around that the two parties had resolved. Since the two sides have submitted their letters and responses on the lawsuit that was initiated by the Securities and Exchange Commission is expected to be resolved this week, according to traders of Ripple xrpupdate. PFR Rispoli, an attorney who advocates for cryptocurrency, had anticipated that the SEC versus the Ripple dispute will be resolved by July 2024. Ripple's ruling could see a positive turn as the SEC lowers its position on the security status of these cryptocurrencies, according to the daily summary of market movers. The information that has been provided is not intended to be trading advice. There is no responsibility for any investments that are made based on the information that is provided on this page. Before making any decision about investments, we strongly advise conducting independent research